Hi everybody, how you doing? This is Tracing Roots and Telling Tales, Genealogy with Donna. Actually, it's Tracing Roots, Telling Tales Tuesdays, but today's Wednesday. Yesterday was a day. Everybody vote. We had to go down the hill for my mammogram and vote, and then we came back up today. So that's how that goes. So I'm late, but it's a benefit. I had not had time to, yesterday morning was crazy. I had not had time to verify and check out the draft cards. You know, I did the draft cards for Mike's dad and his uncle, his brother, his dad's brother. But I hadn't done my own for my grandfather and my uncle. My grandfather, Norman Russell Cate, was born in 1895. And so he was eligible for the World War I draft. So I have his facsimile of his draft card from World War I. It was from 1917. He's 22 years old, and he's married. So that makes him ineligible for the draft at that particular moment. He's a student in Boston going to MIT. So we have a picture of a time and a place where he is, and it's wonderful to see. A benefit of that not only gives me a description of how tall he is, the color of his hair, etc., but it gives me his actual signature. Now, I know his signature because I've seen him write his name. I am privileged to have had the honor of knowing him in real life and having a relationship with him, which is awesome. And so I know I can authenticate that. Plus, when I was a little kid, there were autograph books. You'd get an autograph book, and then you go around to all the members of your family and your friends, and you get everybody to sign it. Well, I have his autograph, his signature in that. I also have my grandmother's. I have my great-grandmother's and my uncle's. So it's really cool. Now, if I could just find where that was. It's in one of these boxes on the shelves here. I just don't know which one. Anyway, I now have his World War II card from 1942. At that time, he is 47. All men had to fill out a draft card regardless of eligibility. He's 47. He's the office manager of an oil company, Rothschild Oil Company in Santa Fe Springs on Lakeland Road. Gives all that information. I already knew that's where he worked because he took me to work with him on occasion. So that was cool. He was still married to my grandmother. Interestingly enough, one of the things I gleaned from it, they had a phone number exchange. It was called exchange, and his exchange was 28392. That's it. In Southern California, your number was 28392. No area codes. That's just how it was. That was back when there was no zip codes. So if you're a newbie and you've always had a zip code, you've always thought zip codes existed, they didn't. So isn't that a cool one? It also gave me, on both of these, it gave me the addresses of either their employment or their homes, and it also gave me the person to contact, but it was more who will always know where you are, actually, is the question. And that was his wife, Pauline. So, my grandmother. So there you go. Now, for my uncle, he was born in 1919 in October, so he did not have a World War I draft card, but he did have a World War II. I believe it was 1942, and he worked at Lockheed in Burbank, and he was a templates inspector. No clue, but that's what he did. During the war, everybody worked. The only time my grandmother ever wore pants, it was unladylike to wear pants. She worked in a factory. I don't know which one. I don't know where. By the time those questions came up, They were already passed away, and I don't have that information. By the time that question came to me to ask, my mother had also passed away in 1988, so I don't have any clue. But I do know that that happened, but I just don't know where. So unfortunately, I can't verify that. Maybe someday they'll have some kind of records, but at this point, I don't have anything. Anyway, I just thought that that would be, I wanted to give equal time to Mike's family and my family. Jody had found the draft cards for his father and his uncle. So I wanted to go delve into Norman and Richard, my Uncle Dick, and get those. So that's cool. I did not know. My uncle was then in the, it wasn't called the Air Force. It was the Army Corps. It was the Army something, Air Corps. And he was an instructor. I don't know of what. I've seen one picture of him in a flight suit with a clipboard. I know I've got it around here somewhere, and I think maybe I did add it to the family tree at one point, but I have not gone back, and I don't have tons of pictures of him. My cousin Rick is not forthcoming with them. He always stalemates me about it. Oh, it's in storage, and it's just such a mess in there. I have even offered to go in and help him rearrange and organize his storage so that I can glean some of the pictures. But he naysays me, and it will fall to whomever whomever of his children want to go through that, I guess. But Sandy, if you happen to see this, I'm still willing to come out and, organize or go through it just to be able to see. He's got so many because when Uncle Dick died, it went to B, and then B gave him to Rick. And, he's got Bertha stuff too, and I'd love to see that. So if anybody is willing, it's me. I'll help do that because it's a daunting task. No matter how organized you are, it's a daunting task to go through the memories. So I understand that. And I'll bring tissues because I'm sure that there will be some things that will, cause some tears. Anyway, that's what I have for today. I hope it's interesting. You certainly can get a tree going and start looking at those kind of documents for your own family. They're readily available, and it's a kick, and it also adds to the family's legacy, and that's what we want. We want the stories. The stories are what makes it different. Anybody can have a birth and death date. Anybody can have a gravestone, but where is the gravestone? But what is the story? What was your life like? You didn't live and die. There was a whole thing in between. And if you've had a long in between, you got more stories. So anyway, if you've got any story you'd like to share that you've found, please put it down in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. I want to hope that I'm not just talking to thin air. Anyway, you guys take care. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.